Zoe was a curious little girl whose eyes sparkled with imagination. Every afternoon, she explored the corners of her grandmother's old manor, transforming each dusty room into a mysterious kingdom. Her shoes creaked on the floorboards, while cobwebs gently brushed her light brown hair. That day, as a ray of sunlight passed through a dusty window, Zoe noticed a heavy oak door adorned with ancient carvings of stars and moons. "What do you hide behind this door?" She murmured as if the manor itself could answer. The door slowly opened with a creak, revealing a narrow staircase winding into the depths of the house. Zoe, her heart pounding, cautiously stepped down each stair while silently counting to give herself courage. At the end of the staircase, a dim light seemed to welcome her into a secret room. It was a magical library. The carved wooden shelves seemed to be one with the walls, each book sporting a cover worn by time, as many invitations to dive into unknown worlds. "This is where all the forgotten dreams hide," Zoe thought in amazement. Her hesitant hand rested on a book whose title glowed faintly in the golden light from the lamp hanging from the ceiling. Touching it, she felt a gentle warmth fill her, like a comforting hug in the heart of winter. It was as if the book knew her and had been waiting for her all along. She took a deep breath and opened the cover. Immediately, a whirlwind of shimmering lights surrounded her. The floor turned into a carpet of twinkling stars, and before she could understand what was happening, Zoe was transported into a universe of enchanting dreams, a world where every moment promised the unexpected and the marvelous. Stars streaked under Zoe's feet, who marveled at this new world. The colors she saw defied imagination, and each landscape revealed a new surprise. She found herself in front of a strange forest, where the trees didn't have ordinary leaves, but beautiful silver leaves. Rivers of crystal clear water ran through the forest, singing soft melodies, similar to those her grandmother sometimes murmured to lull her to sleep. A light laugh was heard. Someone was watching her. A bright and gentle shape. "Welcome, little adventurer," said a melodious voice. Zoe discovered that this voice belonged to a small, luminous creature, part fairy, part animal. "I am Lumel. I watch over dreamers like you." Zoe, less surprised than one might expect, after all, she was in a dream, smiled widely. "Will you accompany me on these adventures?" "Of course," Lumel replied, pirouetting in the air. "I'm here to help you understand that the shadows you fear are simply parts of yourself to enlighten." Zoe felt her courage grow. She recalled the little fears that sometimes bothered her, like the fear of the dark or speaking in front of the class. "Maybe these shadows aren't so terrible after all," she thought, following Lumel among the shimmering trees. All around her, benevolent creatures manifested. Birds with golden feathers, squirrels skipping from branch to branch, beings she never imagined meeting anywhere other than in a book. They offered her their help, each sharing a little lesson, a comforting thought. The forest whispered softly as Zoe and Lumel continued their path, each step a bit more assured, each bird's cry a bit softer. She understood the world and each of her fears better, gradually transforming into strength, a light at the heart of her imagination. As they ventured deeper into the silver woods, Zoe and Lumel arrived at a clearing bathed in golden light. In the center stood a twisted cabin, as if an artist had painted its walls with the wind itself. A singing stream surrounded the clearing like a liquid necklace. However, a darker atmosphere prevailed here. The sky slowly filled with tumultuous clouds, and a chilling breeze swirled around. Zoe felt her hands tremble slightly, a sensation of uncertainty enveloping her. "Don't worry, Zoe," said Lumel's reassuring voice, gently touching her cheek. "These clouds are made of your doubts. Just observe them and transform them." Lumel took a calm posture and encouraged Zoe to breathe deeply. "But how to do that?" Zoe asked, feeling a bit overwhelmed by the unknown. She thought back to moments when she hesitated to try something new or to raise her hand in class. Lumel laughed, joyfully jumping around. "You have more power than you think." She raised a luminous arm towards the dark sky. "Let's close our eyes for a moment." Hesitantly, Zoe followed her example. Breathing, she imagined her doubts as clouds in the sky of her mind. When she opened her eyes, each of the dark clouds dissipated, revealing a clear sky. She realized these doubts were as ephemeral as the wind and that her perseverance was the key to transforming them. There is beauty even in darkness, she murmured, astonished by the new understanding that invaded her. Grateful to Lumel, Zoe smiled. Thank you for showing me this, she said. Her voice was clear and confident. The world seemed bright again, each doubt now filled with creative potential. After overcoming the inner storms, Zoe and Lumel continued their journey. The adventure guided their steps to a lush hill, overlooking a sea of rippling grasses under an infinitely blue sky. At the top, a splendid vision greeted them, a floating island in the distance, surrounded by what seemed to be enormous soap bubbles shimmering in the light. Look, Zoe, the island of creatures, exclaimed Lumel, her wings fluttering with excitement. With a light wind clap, they were carried to the island. Zoe watched fascinated the changing landscapes below. Each bubble contained a miniature universe. Icy mountains, golden deserts, soothing oceans. Upon landing, Zoe was greeted by a dazzling scene. Fabulous creatures roamed the island's meadows. Magnificent deer with sapphire-studded antlers and ethereal kittens playing with the blades of grass like young children with rainbow threads. These creatures represent the forces that lie within you, explained Lumel. They encourage you to always explore and to keep your curious spirit alive. Zoe wandered among them, each encounter filling her with new energy. Does each creature have a lesson to teach me? She asked, discovering the sparks of power in their eyes. Yes, they are the guardians of your inner strength, replied Lumel. Time passed, and Zoe danced among the creatures, learning from each moment. Her heart beat to the rhythm of invisible drums. Each second spent here enriched her confidence in herself. Together, they explored the island until sunset, discovering all the secrets the creatures wanted to share. In this eternal dance between dream and imagination, Zoe found herself stronger, each adventure a mirror of her own potential. At the bend of a path on the island, Zoe and Lumel found themselves facing a gigantic structure made of ancient twisted trees, forming a mysterious labyrinth. The intertwined branches whispered ancient legends, inviting those who dared to listen to follow their path. The labyrinth of echoes, Lumel said with an air of solemnity. This is where you can confront all the voices of doubt. Zoe felt slight apprehension but chose to walk resolutely alongside her luminous friend. Each corridor emitted subtle sounds, the gentle voice of her grandmother, the whispers of her classmates, even the breath of her own thoughts. It was a place where each step resonated much more deeply than elsewhere. Don't forget, Zoe, whispered Lumel, her light pulsing slightly. These voices are as much lessons as comfort. Listen to their wisdom, but let your heart define your path. With a newfound breath of confidence, Zoe ventured deeper into the labyrinth. Around her, images took shape among the roots and golden leaves. A path to the left seemed to lead to a joyful childhood memory, while on the right, a shadow symbolized a conquered fear. Zoe turned and turned, sometimes choosing instinctively, other times understanding from an inner whisper the path to take. The sky darkened, only pierced by Lumel's constant glow. Zoe, touching the walls of the labyrinth, suddenly recalled something her grandmother used to say. Even in the thickest shadow, the spark of an idea shines even brighter. Each decision she made seemed to contribute to enlightening her from within. Finally, after having explored the mazes of the labyrinth thoroughly, Zoe found her way to the heart where a magical well diffused a comforting soft light. She knew she had won this trial, each path taken strengthening her inner light. The magical well pulsed a soft light, letting escape a reassuring melody. Zoe sat on the edge, letting the glow bathe her face in a comforting warmth. You have learned a lot, Zoe, said Lumel, twirling around her, her wings illuminating the well. The worlds you have crossed will never disappear. They will forever be parts of you. Zoe reflected on all she had accomplished. She now understood that even her fears were part of her journey, illuminating paths of discovery. Each creature encountered, each fantastical landscape explored had transformed her. The sensation of returning was sudden. Zoe found herself back in the secret library, surrounded by the loving silence of the room. She gently hugged the book, grateful for the magic it had revealed. Her grandmother, whose gentle presence seemed to fill even the darkest corners of the house, entered smiling. Did you find what you were looking for in those enchanted pages, my dear? she asked, knowing in her heart that Zoe had experienced an incredible adventure. Zoe nodded, words failing her in the face of so many emotions. She knew that the manor, with its mysterious rooms and hidden secrets, would always be there to guide her, to comfort her. "Thank you, Grandma, for keeping this treasure," she finally said, her voice filled with gratitude. Her grandmother embraced her, and Zoe understood that, even if she had traveled far and traversed extraordinary worlds, her return to the manor only strengthened the bond that tied her to the magic of her dreams. As the shadow of night gently spread outside, she stood by the window, looking at the stars, her mind calm and her heart filled with light. The Library of Forgotten Dreams had become a sanctuary not only of magic, but also of hope and courage, and she knew that one day she would return there.